Welcome to the Hollywood Garbage Dump Review, where this evening we're going to take a look at DC Films' Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. The title has been shortened today, but for our purposes, it really doesn't matter, because we look for hidden imagery and symbolism that doesn't clearly relate to the overall theme of the movie, or to anything in particular that is essential to the movie. Now, in Birds of Prey, there is a subplot related to a very special diamond. But as you know, if you've watched my prior Garbage Dump reviews, the diamond pattern comes up frequently, all over the place, in scenes and in movies that have nothing to do with a special diamond, like in this evening's review. And if you look over at the poster shown on your screen on the right side, you can see on Harley Quinn's wrist that familiar diamond pattern we see all the time. It's on her wrist here in full diamonds, diamonds within diamonds. It's also on the base of her bat. It's kind of covered up here by her fingers. And then also here in the subtitle, the 3 diamonds. So why is this significant? Why does it come up over and over again, not just in this movie? More so in this movie, I will say, than in any other movie I've reviewed to this point. But why is it used all over the place in these ways and without any clear relationship to the main idea of the movie? Or even in the Birds of Prey case, as we'll see, even if it relates potentially to some subplot of the movie, it's used so frequently in ways that have nothing to do with the diamond in question, that it fits more the use of that same symbol in other movies where there is no diamond in question. The diamond in question is the symbolic meaning that's in question when it comes to our identification of the hidden imagery and symbolism involving the diamond. And that has to do with MK Ultra jewel programming. And that's why the diamond, in its symbolic meaning and its association with the signature of the butterfly, is so relevant. Because the butterfly is also a symbol used in MK Ultra programming. I'll put a link to this article in the description below, as well as a link to this video, MK Ultra number 32, Diamond Programming by Eyes to See, where it shows Beyonce. I was trying to rhyme it with Eyes to See. And you can see here she's showing you the diamond pyramid pattern, just like it is shown here and throughout this evening's movie. So I'd encourage you to watch this video. I'll put a link in the description below, since it's Eyes to See's video, which goes through different examples involving celebrities who appear clearly to be victims of this MK Ultra jewel diamond programming. So with Birds of Prey, released in 2020, about a year ago, we have really a terrible movie. It's one of, if not the worst overall movie I've ever seen. And I had to watch it twice, because I originally watched it to do a Garbage Dump review 3 months ago, but then I got caught up with Boss Baby. And now I'm back to Birds of Prey. So I watched it again today just to have it fresh in mind. And it really was just as bad and even worse than when I watched it the first time. You know, sometimes when you watch a movie, it can get a little better. Not here. It got worse. It's really just a bad movie in every way. And I'd encourage you, if you're just interested in bad movies, terrible, horrible movies, and you don't mind being offended the whole time and degraded, go ahead and watch this movie. It'll definitely fill your need of that kind. But otherwise, I would encourage you to think twice, because certainly if you're going to consider paying for it, because the movie really has nothing beneficial to offer except a few scenes that are so poorly done and unbelievable. They actually made me smile, and I even laughed out loud one time. But it's not because it was funny. It was just so bad that it actually made me laugh like that. And so I'll give the movie credit for bringing me a couple moments of joy as I had to endure the abuse it was heaping on me. So let's go through some of that. Why, number one, is this movie so terrible? Well, from top to bottom, acting, storyline, production, direction, everything was terrible. The action, the props, it just seemed like one of the lowest quality productions I've ever seen put in a film by a major studio. And the movie begins with Harley Quinn as this little baby here you see in the cartoon, who's sold by her father for beer. And then after he abuses her like that, she comes back here to this house where you see, as I said, you would see the diamond pattern everywhere. Here on both sides of the wall, both sides of the door itself, and on the tie, hanging next to it. So Harley Quinn keeps coming back to her abusive dad. He keeps shutting her out. Eventually throws her literally at a church where he, I guess, thinks she'll get help, right? Because he's a terrible father. Every single male person is portrayed negatively in this movie. And I would argue even every single female person. Although they actually seem like they're trying to make the females more likable. Doesn't work. So you get that plus a lot of this, right? You get the whole demonic representation of anything religious. It's put in the worst possible light. And I understand there have been situations involving abuse by different groups, different religious groups. It happens. It's terrible, and those people should be punished. But you're not going to get any sympathy in this movie. They're going to go full negative on all kinds of religious stuff, even to the point of just knocking out someone's teeth. And so really, the nun was portrayed in the worst possible light there, even as a demonic figure, without any real context of what Harley Quinn was doing. So she clearly was not a very stable child. She needed some discipline. Whether or not the paddling was appropriate, again, all we know is that eventually the nun's teeth are knocked out, and everything religious, everything male to this point is bad. So we go through these scenes, and then we reach a point where we get to this slot machine look with the diamonds all around. Diamonds on the handle, which is kind of shaped in the form of Harley Quinn's mallet. And you can see here on the side of the mallet, a little smiley face. The significance of the smiley face is worth pointing out, and it has a varied history. I'll put a link to this article below, which is about the strange, tangled history of the acid smiley face. And in reviewing the different associations of it, I found this one in particular to be likely what is being represented by using it on the side of Harley Quinn's mallet. Here it says the smiley symbol pops up throughout The Watchmen, a comic book by author Alan Moore and artist David Gibbons that took the superhero genre and gave it a dark spin. It's used as the symbol of the character known as the comedian, who reaches a grisly end. So Gibbons often depicts the smiley with a little splash of blood, like you see here. And I think that's what is happening here with Harley Quinn's mallet and the smiley face that you see on the side of it. Because she uses the mallet to knock people out, right? To bring them to a grisly end. All right, so then when we go a little further, we'll see Harley Quinn again. And the Joker. Let me just get it at the right spot. And she rises up. She sees the Joker, and then they're both together in this diamond, where again you can see the diamond pattern on her mallet. Again, diamonds everywhere in this movie, not just in relation to the whole subplot involving the I believe Bartonelli diamond they call it. But diamonds and the diamond pattern are everywhere from start to finish. And so it's not just in relation to that diamond that becomes an item in the movie like you see shown here. There's more going on where the diamond is concerned. You can see she's presenting the Joker with the diamond, and she's got that pattern on her leggings now. Moving forward to the real Harley Quinn, not the animated Harley Quinn. Here you get a shot of her in her room, and you see once more the diamond pattern on her couch, prominently displayed. And it doesn't just show up real quickly. It lingers in this and in other scenes. So I'm just giving you the still shot in most cases, but the diamond pattern is on your screen quite a bit throughout this movie. Well, let's go up another minute or so. You can see the leggings like on the animated shot we saw earlier have the diamond pattern. She's got the 5-pointed star. And then if you take a look at the cage, right? If you look at the cage, and the cage really comes into focus several times. And you're going to see it come up even more so in just a second here. But ask yourself, do they use this kind of fencing in these shots for real live action sports like this? Because wouldn't there be plexiglass here at this point? I mean, we don't this isn't like 40, 50 years ago. This is modern day. And she's rolling around the rink, knocking people over. It just seems a little odd to me that we have a chain link fence that is prominently showing us once again the diamond pattern when we would expect there to be plexiglass for an event like this. So if we move forward about 20 seconds, we get some additional imagery. You see Harley Quinn dancing around, going nuts in the club, and she throws a drink on this guy here, whom you can see is seated in front of what? Not only a checkerboard, black and white Freemasonic table, but it's in a diamond pattern the way we're made to look at it. As I said, the diamond pattern shows up all throughout this movie. And we're going to look at a number of other instances. If we just jump forward to this scene here, about another 2 minutes. If you look here, right there, you can tell there's quite a few people eating, and they all look like they're just eating around normal time. I suppose it could be near closing time, but I just find it odd that you have the security screens in a diamond pattern here when the place is clearly open and filled with people. Usually the security screens come out later because you want people thinking that you're open. But if you're trying to show the diamond pyramid pattern, then that's how you could do it. So let's jump forward now a little bit, about 3 minutes. She blows up the place where her and the Joker met. All of this happens in ways that are unbelievable, make no sense, and really just show the low-level thinking that went into making this movie. And so again, you see the 3 diamonds here on the subtitle. Moving forward from that about a minute. Right there, you can see the diamond pattern on the door. Now, it's not just a brief flash. It stays on that door. You're going to see it for quite a while. She comes in, she kind of takes over the place, kills those people, and then right around here, after she kills these guys, she comes in, because this isn't really happening. It is happening and it's not happening. She's sort of recreating what she thinks happened. But look at the window, or rather the mirror, I should say, behind her. Look at the pattern again. The diamond pattern is everywhere in this movie. And it goes from being right here back to right here. You see it over here on the left on the door, and it stays here for several moments. So again, it's not just a brief flash. It's here, and then it was right next to her in the prior scene, but less visible. Don't you find that a little odd? That it's in both scenes. You can see it, but it's not obvious. You have to know what you're looking for. Or they just want that image so much a part of this movie that it gets embedded in our thinking, and I believe that's because they're using it in association with mind control or diamond jewel programming, which has a number of associations, mostly sexual abuse, that you can look up on your own and that are discussed in the video that I showed you earlier and that I'll link below. All right, so now let's go. This lingers here for a little while. And for about 10-20 seconds, I would say, from this point forward. And then we learn a lot for about a minute. You can see again the diamond pattern right here. See in the background? We learn a lot about this diamond here. Again, it's really not a necessary subplot to this movie, in my opinion, but they put it in here, and it certainly helps highlight the diamond symbol, which again you see all over the place regardless of the subplot involving that diamond. This is the kind of hidden imagery and symbolism we're talking about, and that we've seen in almost every other movie and trailer that I've reviewed to this point. All right, let's go up about a minute from here. Oh, actually, we're going to go up about 10 minutes. Ewan McGregor is the villain in this movie, or the main villain. And he starts out, as someone who is just the most unlikable person you can imagine. And he maintains that frame all the way through. But he grows on you because it's so dumb. Again, it's not that the movie develops a character in a way that you're impressed by. No, although Ewan does tend to warm up, I think, to his role and just sort of go with it. Just sort of go with the idea of being this terrible, dumb villain. And in the end, I think he actually succeeds in becoming a comic villain. But the way he acts and the things he does don't make any sense in relation to the comedic aspects of the character that he reveals, and so it's all weird the whole way through. Now, as you can see here, the woman is wearing a terribly inappropriate shirt, right? It's just stupid. She's a police officer, a detective, right? She's gone to her locker room. She's put on her shirt. She's just got this terrible, horrible attitude that she knows every single thing you could possibly imagine. All men are dumb. And she's really a man, right? She had to shave her right there for this, which she doesn't have right? So it's all just nonsense. She's not a man. She doesn't have those things that she's advertising on her shirt, and she never will. So women, please don't fall for this garbage. Be a woman. Because if you're a woman, you don't want to be a man. You can't be a man, and we don't want you to be a man. You're a woman. We're a man. You don't want us to be a woman, do you? No, you want us to be a man. Well, it works the same way for you. So, nevertheless, in this movie, you're getting all kinds of just ridiculous behaviors that don't match the character, don't match what even she can do. Just convey this terrible, horrible, non-feminine attitude. And she wears this shirt. For most of the scenes in the movie that she's in, she's wearing this shirt. It's not like a shirt she just throws on for a quick scene. She's pretty much in this shirt the rest of the movie, except for some parts at the end. All right, and then we get to one of the most ridiculous scenes of this movie. It's so bad. It's one of those scenes that's so bad, I almost want you to see it. Maybe you should search for the Harley Quinn police station invasion with beanbags and confetti rifles. Because she comes into this police station and unloads on them with beanbags. You can see the diamond pattern here on the security glass. Although, again, that's more common, so I wasn't going to point that out, but figured might as well. It's all over the place, right? But this is one I would tend to let go because it fits more with the area and the scene, right? So I make exceptions, I'm aware, but we're just getting started on that diamond pattern scene. So here, though, I wanted to point out just how low this movie goes to make you totally lose interest. In addition to all the subliminal programming. So she gets, you can see on her rifle here, I kind of let the main visual scene pass, but you can see right here that she's got this diamond pattern on her rifle, her confetti rifle as well. And there's another shot, I believe, where it shows it even better. Let's see if I can find that real quickly. So as you can see, I mean, she is totally destroying them with confetti and beanbags. And even their physical strength is nothing. So she totally destroys this police station. They all give up. She goes in. She rescues this little kid who's the worst actor in the movie. It's unbelievable, the acting in this movie. And so if you dare to subject yourself to this movie, you will see what I'm talking about. Now let's go forward a little bit, about 10 minutes. And what we get here is something that is of concern for a number of reasons. I'm almost there. So here you can see the kids playing outside, right? You have children playing outside. And what do you see up here on the wall? Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to describe this. I'm not sure if I want to describe this. But what you will see, if you look on this wall, where children are playing openly with adults, is a Janus realtor sign. Janus. Janus also being the name of pagan god. But in this case, the J is crossed out, leaving the word anus. Now, that's bad enough because we know the anus is not a organ designed for anything but the excretion of toxic human waste. And yet, we can see someone here drew a male penis pointing toward the anus, with children playing openly in front of adults. You've got other stuff over here, right? It's weird stuff, right? But this is the real problem right here. Once again, in these movies, we get the sexualization of children. They're not supposed to be playing openly next to images of a male penis that's pointing toward the word anus, and you leave that in your movie, right? It's not like they missed that, right? How can you miss it? It's right there. This is one big scene, and it's one of the few words you can read. And it's been modified from what it's supposed to be. And it has, as I've said, and as you can see, the male organ. So the idea here is to represent what? Homo abuse, pedo abuse. We don't discriminate against homos, but we don't lie to them either and tell them that they're doing a good thing to themselves and other people. They're not, and if they don't know it, they need to learn it. Because everyone should know what the use of their anus is for and what it's not for. You can use it however you want if you're a consenting adult. I'm not going to try to stop you. Even if it was not legal, it's not... if you want to do that to yourself and damage yourself and another person is willing to be involved in abusive anal sex with you, that's your problem. Right? You're not benefiting yourself or anyone else. You're in fact damaging yourself and that other willing person and society as a whole. And I can show that. You just don't want to admit it. Not one single homosexual person has come to this channel and commented on any of my videos where I talk about this and said, Greg, you're wrong. Anal sex is good for you because... and then, whatever they think they can argue for. They can't. As I explained in my Watchtower, quote-unquote, apostates and homosexuality video, the science is 100% against them. So they never talk about it. They just want us to think it's a normal lifestyle that doesn't come with all of the consequences that it does bring to the participants, including a loss on average of 20 years of your life, increased risk of diseases including anal cancer, immunosuppression, AIDS, HPV, increased drug usage, depression, suicides. So this is not just some minor thing. We're being presented here with abusive sex, images related to abusive sex, right in front of children playing. They couldn't even edit out or cover up the sign in a way that suggests they don't want to promote that kind of activity, because that's exactly what they want to promote and are promoting in association with all this diamond jewel programming, which has a strong association toward sex abuse. All right, let's jump forward about 9 minutes. And in this scene here, we're going to get more of the imagery involving the diamond pyramid programming. And right here you can see it's not just used in association with the diamond subplot. Not by any means. And we know that the other movies and movie trailers I've reviewed use this symbol repeatedly without any diamond involved at all in the movie. But look here on the curtains. You get the diamond pattern on the curtains, and you have it here on the rug. It's all over the place throughout this movie. And you can see here, I mean, it's not just quickly either, right? These things kind of linger on with the curtains and the floor rug. right? So it's impossible for it not to be a part of your visual intake, is what I'm getting at. And if we just go a couple minutes ahead of this scene, you'll see Harley Quinn kind of go into a dream state where she acts like Marilyn Monroe, and she sings the song about diamonds being a girl's best friend. And then just a couple minutes after that, you can see here that she's in the jail. They kind of split up that scene. She has a flashback where they try to develop another character. So she's back in the jail, and she's hitting it with her rifle, right? This security monitor. She's got her rifle right here. It's got that diamond pattern. It's kind of blurred right here, but I'm not showing this scene to you for that reason. I showed that to you earlier. Look at the security screen again, right? I mean, remember how I showed you this pattern at the restaurant where that woman came in, the hooded woman was on the door, and then the detective came in and it was on the mirror behind her, and then it switched back to the woman. And then we just left the scene where it was on the curtain and it was on the floor mat. You see what I'm saying? It's all over this movie, and here it's on her rifle and the security grid again. So, it's always present in these scenes in this movie. Maybe not every scene, but it's not long before it comes in to your viewing again. So it's throughout this movie, and you can see it here on her shirt even more clearly, right? It shows up on its own, but then it really is highlighted here when you look at her shirt. All right, now I'm going to show you a very interesting use of the diamond pattern. So let's say to this point, you're just not convinced, right? You see all the diamond patterns, right? I showed you the article. I showed you the video. You can look at that on your own. You can see how important the diamond symbol is for this MK Ultra Joule programming. Maybe, though, you've seen all that, and it's just, you think, well, maybe the diamond subplot, Greg, they're just really going hard with the diamonds here. Yeah, I saw the curtain. Yeah, I saw the rug. I'm seeing all these different things on the doors, the security screen, the mirror. I see all that, Greg. I still don't think they're trying to fill these scenes intentionally with that symbol, apart from just the diamond that they're trying to recover. Okay. Well, tell me about this, because when I saw this, it really made me think, even though I'm convinced by the other images that I've shown you in the other scenes, when I saw this, I thought, this is it. This makes no sense whatsoever. There's no reason to have a scene here with two mattresses on top of this minivan that have the diamond pattern. Nothing here is required for the movie or this scene in any way. It's just here, like the curtains, like the rug, like every other diamond image you have seen, except for maybe a couple that relate directly to the main diamond involved in this subplot they got going. But otherwise, they're all like this. They just don't fit. And if you don't think they're using the diamond pattern for the reasons that I'm discussing in this movie, I'd like you to explain to me why these two mattresses are here. I'd like some explanation. Was it just they happened to be tied to the minivan while they were shooting here? You think so? I don't think so. It doesn't fit unless you consider the diamond pattern fitting. which it does. All right. Now, around minute 59, which is about right here, Harley is talking to this girl. They just got shopping at a store. And the whole time they were at the store, they talked about nothing of any use whatsoever. They get here around this point. Harley tells this little girl here, if she wants to get a boy's attention, blow something up or shoot someone. She literally says that. And then she says, nothing gets a boy's attention like violence. Which is, of course, nonsense, unless a boy or a man has to deal with violence. That's not how we are at all. And so, again, the movie just presents nothing but terrible, negative advice. There's just no positive, redeeming quality or moment in this movie at all that I can think of. And I watched it twice for the purpose of looking for hidden imagery and symbolism. But the terribleness of the movie really was a distraction for me. Unlike any other movie I've reviewed, it was just a terrible movie. And so I want to point that out because it's not just a movie I think you'll be able to go out and say, well, I want to see all these hidden imagery and symbolism that Greg showed and see if I can find anything. You might, but you're going to have to endure the pain of one of the worst movies in a long time. All right, let's take a look at a few more and then we'll wrap this up. So, as you can see, and as I explained at the beginning of this garbage dump, the diamond pattern is used by far more than any other image or symbol in this movie. And if we just jump forward about 10 minutes, you are going to see it yet again. Right here on this wall. All over it. If we jump forward about 15 minutes from here, and again, I'm not showing you every single image, right? Because if I showed you Harley's wrist every time, then you'd see it there. So I'm skipping repeated instances of the symbol if you've already seen it at least once, and I'm trying to show you the different types of scenes in which they use that symbol so you can see how often it comes up. Here they're going through this extended preparation for this battle with Ewan McGregor's character, and it's just so terrible. The build-up, the dialogue, and then the subsequent fight is, to me, the funniest part of this movie. It might be worth you pulling up the final fight scene in Harley Quinn. Not the one at the end with just Ewan McGregor, but the one in the funhouse. We'll watch a part of it in a moment. It's so bad. And I get joy from watching it for that reason, which is not good, right? I don't want to go to a movie and be entertained because of how terrible it was. It's just what happened in this case. So as we go through this scene here, I mean, the action scenes are so terrible. She comes out of there and she lands here. And you can see now we get, a full viewing of Harley Quinn and her mallet and her overalls with the diamond pattern again. So here on the other side of Harley Quinn, you can see it on her wrist, you can see it on the mallet again, and her overalls. So it's just, like I mentioned, it comes up and is shown throughout the movie. If you're looking at Harley Quinn at any time in this movie, for the most part, you're going to be looking at that diamond pattern. And then all of the other times it comes up. Now, I am happy to report one thing, and that is near the end of the movie, they did fix one thing. And I'm glad they did, although I wish they would have either fixed it earlier or not shown it the way they did. They finally put up another Janice sign over here on the right side of the screen. Good news, no anus, and no male penis heading its way. Bad news, we get the full name of the god Janus on display. So it looks like they at least wanted to re-dignify the pagan god after the association of it with sodomy. Either way, I wanted to point that out. And so near the very end, with Harley Quinn, you can see she's got the red and the blue eye makeup. Red and the blue together, of course, make the purple of feminist destruction. And it really wouldn't be a hidden imagery and symbolism movie without the obligatory one-eye shot. Following that one-eye shot, it looks like I moved it back. Let's move it back because there's another one-eye shot. You get two really right at the end. So let's just show. You saw that one with Harley Quinn, the real Harley Quinn, as she's driving away. And then there's one more right here. Right? It brings it right up close to you, and then it gives you the name of the actress for Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. So we get the two one-eye shots at the end. As I mentioned, the movie overall is extremely degrading to both men and women. The overall dialogue quality is some of the worst I've ever heard. The scenes involving what you might call battles or fights are just terrible. Let me see if I can show you a part of the worst one, which is the final battle royale. Here she's going. This is after that. And as I said, there are a lot of scenes where you can see right here the diamond pattern, but I had already showed you her overalls. Again, if you see Harley Quinn at almost any point in this movie, you're going to see that diamond pattern. So I just tried to show you different instances so you could get a good sampling. But this whole fight here is so bad and really makes the main women look terrible. It makes the men look terrible as well. It just goes to show that these movies have reached a level where they're more interested in trying to program us to believe and think certain things that are not helpful to us, that have terrible associations, like with secret societies, the Illuminati, right? Things that just aren't helpful or good for humanity. And trying to depict people in ways they are not designed, promoting filthy ideas like anal sex, which is abuse, while continuing to show us the diamond pattern, which is used in mind control programming for sexual abuse, showing women in shirts, openly proclaiming in scene after scene that they're going to shave private parts they don't have, making them seem like they're in roles they cannot be. So I recommend you avoid watching this movie. Unless you're going to do like me and try to find things that you can use to show other people why. Birds of Prey is garbage.